Hi, everybody.
Hello, I'm Ryan.
I'm Bethany.
And we are Ryan and Bethany Board Game Reviews.
And today we'll be talking about Flux, the Camping Edition, because they have so many. And this is designed by Andrew Looney and is published by Looney Labs.
All right, this is a game all about changing. You're constantly changing. All the rules are susceptible to being changed.
Yes.
You're going to add new rules. You're going to take away rules. But what we're trying to do is trying to have the best camping trip possible. Let me give you a quick overview of how to play. All right, here's our setup for Camping Fluxx. Basically, we have our large stack of cards here, as well as our basic rules. These are going to be how we're going to start off every game of Flux. Every player is going to start the game with 3 cards in their hand. And then on their turn, they can draw a card from the deck, and then they can play a card. However, as implied by the name of the game, all the rules are going to be changing at any given time. So for instance, you can play a new rule that says we can draw 2 cards now. So you cover that up. And now from here on out, we can draw 2 cards at the beginning of our turn instead of just 1. Or maybe something like this. You could play 4 cards. So you can play a lot more things and get a lot more things accomplished. There might even be some crazy things like a hand limit coming into play. So now we've got a hand limit of 3. No one can have more than 3 cards at the end of their turn. But what are we trying to do? Well, we're trying to complete some kind of a goal. Goals are these pink cards over here that can get played as one of the cards that you play in your turn. And they have some kind of parameters as far as how to accomplish them. This one says, if you have the backpack and the canoe in front of you on your turn, you are going to win the game. So, for instance, if we had played this keeper card, that's the canoe, and we'd also played this keeper card, which is the backpack, we would have accomplished that goal, and we would win the game. So that's what we're trying to do, is we're trying to set a goal out there and have the matching keepers to make it happen. But in addition to those keepers, there's also some creeper cards. If you have one of those in front of you, this one says, this is rain, place it immediately in front of you. If the campfire is in play, discard it when this is in play, and you cannot win if this card is in front of you, unless the goal says otherwise. So rain is a bad thing when you're going camping, so you don't want to have that in front of you. However, you also have some things like the rain gear that can have special abilities that says rain does not prevent you from winning. Similarly, our backpack over here says that we can ignore hand limits. So I like that some of these keepers in this particular version of Flux have some kind of extra special abilities built into them. All right, so we've mentioned how the yellow cards are the new rules. We've mentioned how the green cards are our keepers. The pink cards are our goals. If you have the black cards, those are the creepers. But we also have blue cards, which are actions. So you might come across a card like this that says, draw 3 cards off the top of the deck and play 2 of them. So whatever it says, you're going to draw 3 cards, and you're going to play 2 of them, whether they're creepers, whether they're keepers, whether they're actions, whatever the case is. Or maybe you have an action that says something like this. This says, trash a new rule. Maybe you don't like having a hand limit, so you want to get rid of that. You know what? Let's get rid of that. It is gone. There are a ton of different action cards in the game. They can move keepers around. They can kind of change the rules again. They can dig back cards that were already discarded earlier in the game. They can do a whole bunch of different things. But remember, the whole goal of this game is to accomplish your goal. So whatever you do, do it in order way to either put out a new goal or get new keepers out there or get rid of other people's keepers that are going to keeping them closer to getting one of their goals or whatever the case is. In this particular version of Flux as well, there's some kind of cool versions of those goals as well. So for instance, here's one that says, okay, where's the fire? And you need to have the sharp stick for sure, but then you can either have marshmallows or hot dogs. So you have kind of a little bit of a choice there. Or here's one, the loaded pack. This one says you need to have for sure a backpack, but then you can have any 2 of these other items, whether it's bug sprayer, canteen, flashlight, whatever the case is. So you'll need a total of 3 things to fulfill this, but you have a lot of options. Or here's one. This one says, a creek without a paddle. You cannot. You need to have the river in front of you, but you cannot have a paddle anywhere on the table. Not only not in front of you, but not in front of anyone else either. So there's lots of different variety within those goals. But no matter what, the first person to finish one of those goals is declared the winner.
This edition of Flux uses creepers, and so those are cards that while you have them in play, you actually can't win the game. But that is okay, because there's also other cards. They're like, it's okay if you have this specific creeper, it doesn't affect you. Like, an example would be mosquitoes. If you have mosquitoes, you don't win. But if you have the tent, it's fine. You're still going to be fine, because you're protected.
Or the bug spray.
Yes, because you're protected from the mosquitoes. So it has a lot of those, like... There's cards that interact with a lot more than one card. There's a lot of things going on.
I like how in this particular version of Flux, a lot of the goals that you're trying to accomplish have more to do with just have this, and then you win.
Yeah.
Some of them are, okay, you have to have this, Plus, you have to have 2 more of any of these group of things. So you have a lot of options to work with, but you need 3 things instead of just 2. Or maybe you only have 1 thing, but you also cannot have this other thing out on the table anywhere else. Whatever the case is. So they had a lot of more freedom and to kind of play around with those goal ideas, which I thought was really fun. And it also really worked with well thematically.
Yeah, and I also like how all the goals are pretty evocative to the camping theme, like the things that you need together. Like one of them was by the campsite, and so you could have the tent and the camper, but you needed to have the woods as well.
Right.
Like I just, a lot of that stuff makes sense, and there's different ones that involve the campfire with all these different things, and so it just makes sense, right? Like the different ones are pretty evocative of a camping theme.
And I agree. A lot of the actions were the same way. They had things like if you were a scout of any kind, you got to play a scout card action out there that allowed you to draw extra cards or whatever. So I thought that was a really clever way of bringing that into that.
I do want to let everybody know, just remind you that Flux is a game that's ever changing. So our 6-year-old totally loved it. She was on board. Our 10-year-old got really frustrated with that. And she's played Flux before, so it's just like...
She played Flux like a week ago and loved it.
Yeah.
And then played a Flux with us recently and was frustrated.
Because she couldn't get what she wanted to do, or she was going to win, but then something changed. But that's just the nature of the game. So if you don't like that, then this really isn't for you. Flux in general really isn't for you, but they're also not very long games.
Right, and they're pretty upfront about it. I mean, Flux means change,
Yes.
So they're pretty upfront about it. So I think this is the kind of game we're going to be bringing with us camping every time. It's perfectly camper-sized, as most Fluxes are. And not only that, but it just fits that theme so well. Like, we don't even need to bring our packing lists for what we're going to be packing camping anymore. We just play a game of Camping Flux and be like, oh yeah, I needed to bring a flashlight, bug spray, and a sleeping bag. Got it. Okay, now I remember.
Yeah. Everybody, thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe so you can see our videos as they come out.
Everybody, thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.
Bye.
You guys, thanks so much for watching. This game was provided to us by a publisher in exchange for a fair and honest review.
And if you want to see more stuff, check out over here to see something we think you might like.
And over here, we think that YouTube has picked out a great video for you you're going to love. Thanks, guys. We'll see you next time.
Bye.